Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema-Magazin. I bring you an incredibly talented actor, but in this case, an incredibly talented director, the visionary, Kenneth Branagh. For a second, I was like, who am I talking to? I realized it's Kenneth Branagh. We all have our knowledge of childhood of what Cinderella, the classic one, was. What did you remember when you were a kid of the Cinderella story, and then stepping behind the camera, how did you want to twist it around and make it a little more unique?
Well, I remember just the set pieces. I remembered a pumpkin converting into a coach. I really remembered the fun of a midnight chase, a girl who needs to get back home before that last stroke of midnight. And I thought that would be fantastic to do a live action version of that and see all those transformations reoccur. So that really haunted me. I loved the magic of the fairy godmother, and I enjoyed being haunted by the wicked stepmother, in this case the wickedly beautiful stepmother who is Kate Blanchett. I knew there were dark sides to it, but there was also an incredible upbeat, uplifting, kind of optimistic story that was exhilarating and fun, and I was drawn to that.
One of the things which I found as I did my research about Cinderella is every country has their own unique spin on the tale. This is for Germany, so I was just wondering, I know you went to Berlin,
yes,
Germany.
Yeah.
Were there people who said, how come you didn't have this or that? Did they feel like Germany got neglected a bit in their tale?
Well, no, Germany, a fantastic nation of storytellers, of course, very much owned this story. Brothers Grimm did their own version of it. And I think the only question in Germany that was asked with a twinkle in the eye was, why didn't I include these two characters chopping their own toes off as they tried to squeeze their feet into Cinderella's slipper? And I guess I thought, that might just end up just a little too bloody. It might just turn it into a semi-horror film, but it was a lovely Grimmsian touch that is indicative of all the many little spins on the story that various cultures and countries have. But I'm pleased to say we had a fantastic reception at the Berlin Film Festival, and Germany's been a wonderful supporter of our films over the years. So I think, although not fully Germanic, there's quite a Germanic sort of flavour to it in our architecture and palaces, and I think I'm hoping our German fans may enjoy it.
And you mentioned Slipper before, and one of the things after seeing the movie, which a couple of people were talking about this, is at the stroke of midnight, all the magic disappears, but yet the slipper stays. So explain to the audience why the contradiction.
Well, I like the fact that there's a question. I love movies. You come out and there's I wouldn't call it a contradiction. I would call it an interesting question about why the fairy godmother leaves that one clue. It's away. It's a hand across the sea. We don't see her again. We absolutely restrict the fairy godmother's presence, visual presence, to a sequence in the middle of the movie, because we partly say the magic that we hope the people in the audience may find is from themselves. However, we do need a bit of hand from universe, fates, circumstance, or fairy godmothers, and occasionally a clue like a glass slipper that you can eventually take to reclaim your prince is probably a handy thing. So we thought that it was just a legitimate little twist on the story to make people ponder, but also allow the prince to find her and her to find him.
Was it really glass?
It was glass and of a weight that was quite incredible. Also, always accompanied by two men in suits and white gloves who were terrified that Richard Madden, who started sort of flipping it up in his hand, was ever going to drop it. We'd have had to stop the shooting, I think, if that had happened.
Well, I can't thank you enough. Terrific.
Thanks, Scott.
I really appreciate that. Nice to Scott Orlin. Until next time.